know, I gotta say, I did not think I would ever be posting on this channel again. But, you know, recently, especially the last week or so, I really just been going back through old accounts and old, you know, messages. And I think it all started when Skype got shut down, because that was really how I met a lot of people through content. And it just sort of like brought back this whole wave of memories, like so many things that I just, wow, I suck at this game. Sorry, guys. I have not played a Sonic game in a fat minute. It just brought back like a wave of memories that I forgot that I had. And I went down that trip of, you know, that trip down memory lane, as you do. And and I started finding old YouTube channels and old friends who I hadn't thought about in years, and all of it centered around this YouTube channel. So today I just want to play Sonic, you know, a game I grew up with, although this is a newer one, and just sort of reflect on the past, reflect on what this channel was, what it meant for me, some of the memories that I have with it, and just what life has been like since then. And if someone from back then somehow sees this, that's really awesome. And if no one does, that's to be expected. It's been like a decade. But I'm just kind of doing this for me as a time capsule of a representation of where I'm at in life. And, you know, if someone wants to watch this, then full power to them. But I'm not exactly expecting it. For starters, I started this YouTube channel whenever I was 10 years old because my mother, I'd been begging her for years. Ever since I found out that YouTube existed, I wanted to do it in some capacity. And I was up her ass about it nonstop, man. I mean, I was just every day, Mom, please let me make a YouTube channel. And understandably so, for my own safety. She was like, no, there's like creepy old men on there. I don't really want you doing that. And I, for the life of me, could not understand why. But she always told me, when you turn 10 years old, you can start a YouTube channel. And that is exactly what I did. Oh, fuck. No, please. Sorry, guys, I got distracted. I just remember being so happy about that. And I was finally old enough to start this channel. And so that is exactly what I did. And through that, I met so many people. It was like my entire world opened up. I grew up in a very small town. And even then, I lived like 15 minutes away from that town, living in a secluded house in the middle of the woods. And I had no friends to hang out with because my mom never wanted people from school to come over. She was always like very perfectionistic about our house. You know, thinking that it wasn't clean enough or that we were too poor and, you know, all this stuff. And so I was alone a lot. And as a result, through making this YouTube channel, I met a lot of friends that I was actually close with because I had nothing else to do, no one else to hang out with. I would sit in Skype calls for hours. Some of them I even met on Omegle, or just through my YouTube comments section. There were so many people who would just find me through like my shitty Roblox or like Five Nights at Freddy's videos, and they would just add me on Skype or Google Hangouts or whatever it was at the time. I met a lot of really cool people like that, and unfortunately, even though some of those people I was more than close with, I would talk to them for hours every single day. And I'm not exaggerating that. I mean, we would literally make these Skype group chats and sit in there for like 12 hours a day every day. Like, I literally had nothing better to do. And unfortunately, most of them, I don't even know where they're at. I have no way of contacting them. I don't know what happened to them. I legitimately am at a dead end with that. And I thought, man, that's so crazy. These people just like vanished from the internet. Like, how is there no lead, no like way of reaching out to them? And that was a very depressing thought. But then I realized I'm the same way. Like, dude, there's probably someone that's gone to my channel and been like, what the hell is this guy up to? Like, I remember talking to him. I wish I had a way to reach out to him, but I can't, you know, I have no idea. This guy could be dead for all I know. And yeah, because that's how I thought about them. So that kind of gave me the idea, you know, what if I post a little time capsule here, a little video, as I do. And I am very all over the place. I'm very bad at multitasking, but I did think, you know, I always wanted to abandon this part of my past. I thought it was so cringy, and yeah, obviously I was a kid on the internet, and I said a lot of stuff that I thoroughly regret. I won't lie. That 2016 edgy phase of YouTube, not great. I won't lie. But it also made me who I am, and I feel like it helped me grow a sense of empathy. And I think that just shows growth if you cringe at your past, you know? I mean, if you have the wherewithal to know that something is wrong, I feel like that's a good thing. So I try not to like, you know, reject it too much these days. If I told myself a year ago that I would be posting on this channel again, I would think that's a nightmare scenario. I would not be okay with that. But you know, things happen, life changes. And that thought that, you know, some people who I used to be friends with might think that I'm like dead somewhere, you know, like I was kind of sad. Which is kind of why I'm making this. The other part is just I want a time capsule to look back on. Unfortunately, I deleted most of the videos on this channel when I was very young because I had this sort of ego death. I think that was the me going from a preteen to a teen, you know, it really changed a lot in my mental psyche. Anyways, I keep getting so off track, man. I'm so bad at talking while I'm playing games. I realized that there were so many people who I had no way of reaching out to anymore, and that were so close to me that I had forgotten even existed. Like, do you know how crazy that is to realize, like, randomly after like a decade, like, oh my god, there's this individual who I used to speak to every day that I literally forgot existed. Like, that is so insane to feel. It was like gaining those memories back in a way. That's really the only way that I can describe it. And I tried so hard to find these people. I mean, I was like going through Facebooks, like all this stuff. Like I was being a stalker. It was creepy, but you know, I was doing it in the name of friendship. Okay, so that makes it okay, guys. But you know, to no success, unfortunately. But also thinking back on this stuff, I was like, man, there's certain things where like I kind of feel like I was associating with very undesirable people. Like I was a kid and. You know, there were a lot of situations where I would interact with adults on the internet, and I realized I kind of got taken advantage of in a lot of different ways. And, you know, I'm not going to go too in depth on it, but it's just like, it kind of made me feel icky, you know, like remembering that. But I also don't think I would change a thing about it because, you know, it makes you who you are. And it's like icky as some of that stuff is to think about. It's not like I got hurt or anything, like nothing severe happened, but I was just kind of like, oh, that was an uncomfortable friendship now that I'm looking back on it. Or like maybe I let so-and-so influence me in negative ways, you know, stuff like that. But I also rediscovered a lot of love that I had, not just for content creation, but certain things. Like I remember I used to voice act comic dubs on this YouTube channel, and it was very short-lived, and honestly it was so long ago and I was so young that I don't even fully remember how involved I actually was in it. But I do remember voicing stuff for it because I remember booting up that Turtle Beach headset and going crazy on Windows Movie Maker, man. That was also how I learned how to use Audacity, which I still use to this day. So really, you know, it was a win-win. I fucking hate this boss, dude. This little fat shit, this little piece of... through that comic dub thing, I realized, like, man, you know, I really had, like, such a strong passion for voice acting and honestly just creating things. Like, I really want to do something like that again. And I don't know how to fill that itch, I guess, because Lord knows I probably have no way of interacting with these old people who I used to do these dubs with, but at the very least, you know, that spark was lit in some capacity. Oh fuck! Oh my god, this piece of shit, dude. Oh, I have no rings now. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna kill myself. I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm not gonna lie. I had to lock in for this boss fight, dude. But more than just like rediscovering old passions, I feel like I just like relearned so much about myself. I'm at a point now where I'm in the middle of college and I'm finishing up my first year now. And I feel like I've just felt so lost with myself. Like I could be doing more, and I don't know what that means at the moment, but I just know I have this like hole in me where I feel like there's more that I could be doing that I'm not fulfilled, and that there's just something that I need to accomplish. I need to apply myself to. But looking back at these old messages and, you know, old archived videos that are definitely not public and should never be made public again, I sort of just realized, like, man, I have come so far. The kid that I was back then could never have imagined that I would experience some of the things that I have to make the strides that I have in life. You know, not just with college and stuff, but like with YouTube as well. Like I have a channel now, which I'm not going to mention because I would like to keep that separate. And I'm actually doing good on it. Like I'm getting views that I never thought that I would have. And 10-year-old me would be proud. Like he would be going crazy if he saw those analytics. And now I'm like, oh, you know, it could be a couple thousand more. Oh man, you know, this video, you know, the click-through rate and the watch time, man, it's just not up to par. And, you know, me as a kid would be like, dude, I don't know what half of those words mean, but that's a big number. And I feel like that made me look back at it in a different way. A way where I realized, like, man, you can be happy with what you've accomplished. And that, like, it's okay to just, like, take a break sometimes. I didn't even realize that, like, for, like, the past 5 years, I've just been running full steam ahead, just thing after thing, whether it be, you know, troubles in my life or just like working really hard, because I do try and work really hard, but always just feeling like it's never enough. Like I need to be doing more. And even if you're not physically doing a lot, maybe it's just like, man, I really need to get this assignment done by the end of the day. That kind of pressure weighs on you, man. And even if it's a small task, like just doing your laundry or like going outside, it can feel like a mountain. And whenever it's just weighing on you, it doesn't matter what the task is, it's mental baggage that you have, and it's just exhausting. And I've dealt with that for so long, and I've been conscious of it the entire time, but I never like knew how to really cope with that. But watching these old videos, reading these old chats, it just made me realize, like, dude, you haven't even like realized everything that you've done because you've just been so caught up in like what's next. And you know, that's partially why I've accomplished what I have, because I am just so like goal oriented, and I feel like I have so many ambitions that I need to accomplish by a certain age and all these things I need to do. But I finally told myself, like, I think I've earned a break, you know, like I think it's okay to actually take a day off. Hear me out, guys. That might be good for you. And that mindset, funnily enough, is what has motivated me more than anything else, because I'm starting to just view life and YouTube and everything that I have to do in a different way. Like, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about life again. And for the last year, 2 years, I haven't really been able to say that. Not in like any kind of crazy way, but just like things just get mundane, they get monotonous. Even if, you know, you're accomplishing things like going to college, it's just like when you do the same thing every day, when you submit one big assignment, but then you have 2 more due, it's just like, it doesn't feel fulfilling. It doesn't feel like enough, because there's always going to be more. But then I realized, like, I'm just looking at it the wrong way. It's not about the fact that there will always be more. Of course there'll be more. That is life, dude. You don't finish a day and then say, oh, but I have tomorrow too. It's just a part of the process. I think it's a very beautiful thing, and I think it's something that I have heavily neglected thus far. I think sometimes you just have to tell yourself that it is okay to take a break. But more than anything, just kind of like appreciate where you're at. And it's so easy to tell yourself, like, no, there's so much I have to get done. Like, taking a break is the last thing I should be doing right now. But it's not always the case, man. Sometimes exactly what you need is to just recalibrate. I mean, that's really, when I started framing it like that to myself, it just made everything so much easier. Because, like, you're not just standing still. You're giving yourself a recharge. You're helping yourself run that last 10 miles more effectively. And if progress is what's important to you, then you have to set yourself up for success. You can't just keep running on no sleep, you know, running on no fuel. So that's something that's really helped me out a lot recently. But anyways, enough life advice. Since I last posted on this channel, and I'm not going to count the live streams because those were just like, you know, COVID. I have done so much, and I've had multiple like serious relationships. I've, you know, graduated high school. I've gone to college. I've moved across the country several different times. I'm actually about to make a big move to a very big city. I'm super excited about that. I've worked multiple jobs. I've met so many great people. I've been doing YouTube seriously. I've met so many massive creators, and, you know, just people with like tens of millions of subscribers, like giving me advice and like helping me out and just like offering to collaborate and things like that. Like it really is just like a magical thing, like, because it brings out the little kid in you, and it's just like, oh my God, man, I cannot believe this is happening. And I think I'm just like proud. I'm just proud of where I'm at. I'm proud of the position that I've put myself in, and for once I think okay with the path that I'm walking. You know, I don't know where I'm gonna end up, and I don't know what it's going to look like, but I think I'm gonna be okay. And I think you guys are too. So with that being said, I'm gonna stop yapping. I'm probably gonna like barely cut this up, get it posted. I feel like one person is probably gonna see this, and that's okay, because really the only person that needs to see this is me in a few years. I think I'm gonna start using this channel like a time capsule. I find myself often looking back on it for memories, and unfortunately I don't have that many because I deleted most of my old videos out of embarrassment, and that sucks. So I think I'm gonna try and create some new ones. And if any of my old friends who I used to make videos with or, you know, interact with see this, hey, how's it going? It's been a while. I hope you're good. I hope none of you have like a family or anything, you know. That's a little bit too much progression for the amount of time it's been. I actually almost got in a predicament like that, but we'll save that story for another time. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. And I don't know, I guess I just want to close this off saying that no matter how stuck you feel, no matter how much it feels like you're not moving, just have hope. You know, have confidence in yourself. And it sounds so stupid, but just trust the process, man, because you'll get there eventually. I think most people do, and everything will figure itself out when it's supposed to. That's about all I got for y'all, and I hope you have a good one.